Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. It's a pleasure for me to welcome you here in the Federal Ministry for Transport, Innovation and Technology. We are very glad to host this kickoff meeting of the project Transgreen, Integrated Transport and Green Infrastructure Planning in the Danube-Carpathian region for the benefit of people and nature. Very long title. We are very much looking forward to being part of this interesting and promising project. We, our ministry, have made quite some efforts to establish a good standard for planning and constructing environmentally friendly transportation infrastructure. In the 80s, we started to look for strategies and solutions to deal with the conflicts between roads and wildlife for the benefit of people and nature. The beginning traffic safety was driving factor, which resulted in a directive in 1986 defining that all Austrian motorways need to be fenced on both sides. That again increased fragmentation and enhanced the negative effects of our motorways even more. To cope with these negative impacts, we started to build mitigation measures like over and underpasses for wildlife. The first green bridge in Austria was built in the early 90s. In 1997, the first guidelines wildlife protection were published. They are obligatory for all motorways in Austria, but also give recommendation for other roads as well as railroads. They are seen as a state of the art in our country. Since then, a lot of research and investigations have been carried out, not only in Austria, but in whole Europe, and we gained a lot of practical experience as well. The guidelines were adapted according to the increased knowledge and best practices. The guidelines deal with the question how to build new linear transportation infrastructure in a safe and biodiversity-friendly, but still cost-efficient manner. But like in many European countries, we already had so many kilometers of existing roads and railroads which were built in earlier decades without much consideration of possible negative effects on the environment. Therefore, we developed a defragmentation program in 2007 with the aim to retrofit green bridges in the most crucial and important points along the motorway network to keep the most important wildlife corridors through Austria permeable. This is a total of 20 green bridges which need to be built until 2027, which has been a time span of 20 years. This year we are halfway and proceeding well. Also, Austria is a small country. It is divided into 9 counties. Many competencies and duties like hunting, nature conservation or spatial planning are within the counties and not national-wide in the same. Therefore, dealing with green infrastructure and its integration in transportation infrastructure differs a lot between the areas. In some counties, wildlife corridors are bindingly integrated in spatial plans. In other counties, they are not even displayed in any map or other document. Therefore, a project led by the Ministry of Agriculture, Forestry, Environment and Water Management and supported by our ministry compiled all projects and maps about wildlife corridors and made them available online. We have been trying to solve the conflicts between linear transportation infrastructure and wildlife to mitigate the negative impacts. We have earned a lot of experience. We have made our mistakes. We are now trying to correct them. We have learned our lessons, developed best practices, guidelines and standards on how to build mentally friendly transportation infrastructure. Therefore, we know how important projects like Transgreen are, how important it is to share knowledge and to involve all relevant stakeholders. We are looking forward to be part of this interesting project, and we will try to contribute with our experience. I wish you a fruitful and successful meeting. Thank you.